Good morning. Today in history, Gimel Tammuz is the time that Yeshua, he was the one that took over Moshe Rabbeinu, which for whatever reason Moshe Rabbeinu had to stay in the Midbar because he could not go to Israel. He could not go to Eretz Yisrael and leave his nation in the Midbar. So it's given over to Yeshua. But we know Yeshua is not like Moshe Rabbeinu. Even though he was devoted to Moshe Rabbeinu to the fullest extent, he was the one that was the closest to Moshe Rabbeinu. He was there the whole time. He never left Moshe Rabbeinu. He was a trusted masker, a secretary. He was a trusted servant of Moshe Rabbeinu. And Moshe Rabbeinu is like the sun, and Yeshua is like the moon. And we know that Hashem made the moon smaller. So when it came to Yeshua to fight the enemy, he had to do something. He had to do something which will cause him to win the war. He was not as great as Moshe Rabbeinu. He was Yeshua. So what did he do? He told the sun and the moon to hold up, be quiet. What is the reason for that? Why did he tell them to be quiet? First of all, stop. Stay in one place. But he didn't say that. He told the sun and moon to be quiet. And what's the reason for that is as follows. In those days, they didn't have all these things that promoted themselves as gods or anything else. They served the sun and the moon and the stars. What's the reason for that? Why they have to serve them? They saw the greatness of the sun. Things grew through the sun. Things grew through the moon. So so what they do, they serve them. So in order that the non-Jews should not have the strength that they have, so to say, from the sun and the moon, he told them to hold off. What brings the movement of the sun and the moon? What brings the movement of the sun and the moon is the malachim. There's one malach over from tens and thousands of hundreds of thousands servants of God up above. And how they move around, that's by singing to God. A nullification to God. And when they are nullified to God, they sing and they move very quickly. Until we ask, why don't they go quicker? They surround the world in 24 hours. So how are they able to go and supply the nations with whatever they need? That Hashem made it so that they should be able to make a mistake. Just like the Meraglim, when they asked to see Eretz Yisrael, was the same idea. Hashem says if they have to figure out what's going on, I'll make them make a mistake. So God puts things in our place, in our system, that we should try to make a mistake. And therefore He put the sun and the moon. We should know very, very quickly, we know right away that Avraham Avinu, the first Jew, he saw the moon disappeared in the morning. Cannot be God. He saw the sun. It leaves at night. The clouds make the sun not shine. All these things, he realizes something above it. So we know, when we say, Veifanim v'chayis ha'kodesh b'rash godel, the Veifanim and the Holy Spirits scream with great vigor, excitement, and that's their bittul to Hashem, nullification to God. And only through the nullification, that's how they can supply to the people of the world. And that's why He told them to be quiet. Once they're quiet, they can't move around. And that showed that Yeshua stands above the sun and the moon. Yeshua stands above all the happenings of the world. Every Nasi, every true leader, through his bittul, his nullification to God, he can be standing above the world. That nothing, but nothing, can disturb a Jew from doing Torah mitzvahs. Nothing, but nothing, can destroy Eretz Yisrael. Nothing, but nothing, can destroy all Jews. Rahman al-Islam. Because we stand above the world. Like it says, God protects us every single generation. And every single generation they want to get rid of us completely. But Kodesh Baruch Hu matzleinu miyadam. So the Rebbe says, many generations later, there was the previous Rebbe. The previous Rebbe, they wanted to kill the previous Rebbe. They had no intentions to keep him alive. What was his problem? What was going on with him? He was building shuls, he was building mikvahs, he was building chadarim, places for kids to learn Torah. You can fulfill mitzvahs by yourself, but don't give out to anyone else. Don't make other people stand in make them stand in your level to serve God. And he went on a serious nefesh for that. But they crossed it out. Ten years in Siberia, they crossed it out. So we see what Gimel Tammuz is a time that we stand above the world. And the Rebbe says, Megalgin Schus Yom Zakai. That's a day of Schus, which we see that Chodesh Av, the 9 days, is Chiyuv. There was destruction. You can't have any, you should not have any court cases in Chodesh Av. But Gimel Tammuz Yom Zakai. Nowhere in history they took away a Yom Tif. They took away a Yom Tif because something happened. They made a second Purim. They made a second Chanukah maybe. But never they take away a Yom Tif. And that's how we know that Gimel Tammuz is a Yom Tiv. It's a schal to the Geulah of the previous Rebbe. And as we know, he took upon himself that his redemption on Gimel Tammuz is for every single Jew. And that's why he said that may God be with us. The same way he was with our fathers that went on Mesiras Nefesh. Because he went down to the lowest level. To a Jew, which the only connection to Judaism is that he was born a Jew, that's it. He doesn't do anything else. The Geulah of Gimel Tammuz connected to him also. So the Eibusha should help that the schal to the Geulah, as we know, the Rebbe told us that when Mashiach comes, even the beginning will have all the levels of Mashiach's revelation in the beginning. We don't have to have it played out. And the reason for that is because all our service in the times of Galus, we are already refined and purified for the Geulah. So even in the beginning we can have the true and complete Geulah. And let it be today, the time that the Frierdiker Rebbe left prison, on Gimel Tammuz. And we know that in the time from when he was told that he's leaving prison until he left to Kostrama, he at that time initiated that there should be chadarim built, mikvahs to be built. That in the time that he was still under the rulership of Russia. So the Eibusha shall help that through this Mesiras Nefesh we will go out of Golus right now. That even just as schal to the Geulah will have the whole Geulah in full glory. Long live our master, teacher, and Rebbe King Mashiach forever and ever. Long live our master, teacher, and Rebbe King Mashiach forever and ever. Long live our master, teacher, and Rebbe King Mashiach forever and ever.